Born on the 4th of February, 1913, in Tuskegee, Alabama, Rosa Louise Macaulay grew up in an era of severe racial segregation and discrimination in the South. She was raised by her mother, a teacher, and her grandparents, who instilled in her a sense of dignity and self-respect in the face of racial injustices. Despite the oppressive Jim Crow laws of the time, Rosa Parks pursued her education with a strong desire for personal growth and social change. She attended a laboratory school for black children at the Alabama State Teachers College, but had to drop out to care for her grandmother and later her mother. In 1932, she married Raymond Parks, a barber who was an active member of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP. His participation in the fight against racial injustice inspired Rosa Parks to become more actively involved in the civil rights movement. On December 1, 1955, in Montgomery, Alabama, Rosa Parks' act of defiance made her a prominent figure in American history. After a long day at work as a seamstress at the Montgomery Fair Department store, she boarded the Cleveland Avenue bus for home. In Montgomery, buses were segregated, with front seats reserved for whites and back seats for blacks. If the white section filled up, blacks were required to give up their seats. On this day, the bus became crowded, and the bus driver, James F. Blake, demanded that Parks and 3 other African American passengers give up their seats to white passengers. While the other 3 reluctantly complied, Parks refused. Her refusal was not a spontaneous act, but a considered response to the cumulative injustices she and her community had faced. She was subsequently arrested and fined for violating the segregation laws. Parks' arrest caused great unrest for the African American community in Montgomery. Led by a young Martin Luther King Jr., the Montgomery bus boycott was organized. This was a pivotal event in the civil rights movement, lasting 381 days, during which African Americans refused to ride city buses, opting to walk, carpool, or take taxis driven by black drivers who charged the same fare as the bus fare to support the boycott. In no time, the boycott brought national attention to the struggle for civil rights due to the significant economic impact on the Montgomery public transportation system. The strike eventually ended on December 20, 1956, when the Supreme Court ruled that bus segregation was unconstitutional. This was a major victory for civil rights activists and a significant step towards ending segregation in the South. Rosa Parks' refusal to give up her seat on that December day was a simple act of defiance that echoed profoundly across the United States, inspiring generations to stand up against injustice. After the boycott, Parks became known as the Mother of the Civil Rights Movement, a title she bore with humility and grace throughout her life. Despite facing harassment and suffering economically for her activism, she continued to work tirelessly for civil rights, including serving on the staff of Michigan Congressman John Conyers and founding the Rosa and Raymond Parks Institute for Self-Development to provide youth with educational and leadership opportunities. Rosa Parks passed away in 2005 at the age of 92, but her legacy endures. Her quiet strength and moral fortitude remain a beacon of hope and a reminder of the impact one person can have on the course of history. Here at MisterYapper, it is our hope that we all can set aside our differences and be more kind towards each other.